The inner workings of a Juki TL-2010Q. I have it mostly apart. Obviously, this is where your thread goes. Your bobbin goes down in here. There's your feed dogs. There's the thread cutter. This thing right here is the thread cutter. That's where the bobbin casing goes. That's all the gears and stuff that run down there for moving all that stuff. Then we have underneath here. So if you take off the top, beware. There are cords. There's cables that run right here that tell the bobbin winder to go, and so on and so forth. These are the oil wicks. So there's oil wicks. So you have on the top part, let me pop this down. You have an oil hole right here, an oil hole right here, an oil hole here, and an oil hole there. Not that, that's where the screw goes. So you have 4 oiling ports on the top. Tip it back up so you can see this is the oil wicks. And if you put like 2 drops every 3 days in here or every 4 days, those oil wicks drop down on to all this to lubricate it. So we have one that drops down here. The other one drops into this. So this one right here drops into this. And you can see there's like a sponge in there. That keeps the bar that goes up and down, which is your needle bar. So the needle bar that goes up and down, that right there, that oils that. Keeps this filled, which keeps that bar right there going up and down. Here's the bobbin winder side right here. So this is the bobbin winder mechanism right there. There's actually a clip that goes to right here that has to be engaged with this clip right here for that bobbin winder to work. Here's 2 more oil ports right here. Those for the oilings. Those drop down. And all this right here. So that goes all on this stuff right in here. Okay. This little tray right here, that's that other oiling port. Okay. So that one drains into, oops, where are we at? This tray and lubricates that spinny thing right there. So see that, how that spins? This lubricates that with that oil port. So all that stuff stays nice and oiled. This right here, this little clip, don't lose that if you ever have to take the top of your machine off, because that hooks to your foot pressure gauge. So I make sure that it's sitting central, and then slide this back on. And when it goes on, make sure that that's where it's supposed to sit. And here's that thing I was talking about engaging. So when this is put back on, this goes back like this. So can you see that that bar is in front of that for engaging? It doesn't go here, it goes there. So when you engage the bobbin winder, it works. You'll know if you have it correct if you can turn your wheel towards you continuously and nothing happens. But if it was wrong, see, the wheel won't turn. So when it's right here on that side, you can't turn your wheel. But if it's on the correct side, right there, right here, the wheel turns fluidly. And then you engage and disengage your bobbin winder. All right, so let me put this down and put the top back together, and then I'll show you more. All right, the top's back on. Let's move to the side. This lonely plug right here actually goes to your speed control that makes the machine go slower or faster. If you notice that's missing, that's actually on the side panel. But here you have your power in there, your bobbin winder belt, the other belt that was on the inside, that runs the machine. So there's a second bigger belt on the inside that runs the machine, and there's mechanisms in there that go up and down that helps run it. Power on and off, there's the plug, and that's where your foot goes. I have cleaned every bit of yuck out of here, so it's fully clean. Let's go to the back side. So here you can see there's fuse in there, and those are the coils. That is the power. And this is, I have no idea because I don't know all this stuff, but that's whatever that is. And you can see where the timing is adjusted and so much more. Let's flip it to the underside so that you can see where this oil port and this oil port go. All right, so here is the under workings. So you can see here is that bigger belt. That's the one that runs the machine. The outer side one runs the bobbin winder. So there's that. That turns this, I guess it would be like a flywheel. Turns that, which turns this, which makes the bobbin go back and forth. So as you can see, that's what's turning all that. You can see that's when you're sewing. And you can see all the things that move in there. See that? So all that moves. Okay, and you can see that the needle goes up and down, just like that. All right. Obviously, I said that's where the bobbin goes. This is the thread cutting mechanism. So when you press the pedal on the back side of it, it engages this and cuts the thread. Don't ask me how to change that because I have no idea and I don't know how it wears out or anything, but whatever. And the oil ports. So let's show you. There's an oil port right here. And if you go down here, it puts oil into this hole. Well, it comes from the top side and it fills inside this mechanism. So that oil hole oils this right here, which keeps this stick right here, the spinny stick, that one, it keeps that oiled. Okay, so that runs along and keeps the thing spinning. Then you have the second port on the top, which is this one. Those are screw holes. This is the oil port. That one comes down and oils all this stuff right here on this side. So you can see that everything stays oiled, and you'll build up a ton of oil back here on this back side if you put too much oil too often. You only need like 2 drops every 3 to 4 days. Sometimes that could be too much, so you can go down to 1 drop here and there, because or else you're going to have oil, all this excess oil is going to splatter all over the place and make a mess in the bed that covers this, which will leak out the holes that are in the bottom and get your desk covered in oil. So you definitely don't want to over oil your machine. The other place that you can put oil is on this lip right here at the bobbin casing. And you can do that every 5 to 6 bobbin changes. I don't suggest doing it every bobbin change, not on this machine, because it also has oil from everywhere else that makes its way over to this side. So you really don't need it that often. It's 100% mechanical, so you can see the only thing that runs cords and wires is off and on switches, the bobbin winder area, your power area, your foot pedal area, and that's it. Everything else is 100% mechanical. So there we have it, the inner workings of the Juki TL-2010Q. Let's put this thing back together and see how pretty it looks all clean. Okay, now it's back inside. Let's put some oil in it since I did not do that while we were outside. So I have this oil thingy. I'm just going to take the top off of the oil thingy. And like I said, just like 2 drops. So we're going to go in here. 1, 2. Right here. 1, 2. And I usually stick the oil port down in it like this, but right now I'm just showing you that it's 2 drops like that. And then we're going to go down here. We're going to put 2 drops and 2 drops. Move that out of the way. Wipe up any oil that's spilled because you don't want it on your items that you're sewing. Of course, it doesn't get it from up here, but wipe it up. Don't forget to put the cap back on your oil. Up here and down to here. We're going to stick it in hole number 1. Grab it, go through hole number 2. And through hole number 3. You know, single-handedly doing this, it's not very easy. All right, hole number 3. Then we're going to go through the pre-tensioner disc. So that's the pre-tensioner disc. Down into the tension disc. Around into the hook. Grab the hook. Come under this other hook back here, the 7 shape. Through the guide. Up over the top like this. Pull on it. Go back through the guide. Just like that. Then we're going to come through this bottom guide right here. Kind of hard, one-handed. And then we're going to come to this guide right here. And then we're going to go through the needle. And I don't use the threader on this because it gets stuck on mine. It's an older machine. I've had it for 6 years. So this one, the guide or the threader does not work very well. Look at that, one-handed. Get it through the hole. Pull it through. We're going to pop a bobbin into the bobbin case, wherever that may be. Let's find that real quick. Bobbin comes out right here to the right. Place it in the case. We're going to go through the little slot here on the side and up into the hole, which I cannot do while on camera. See if I can slide it in there. Nope. So it's going through that slot, and then we're going to go up and into. All right. Oh yeah, you know that this is impossible one-handed. So let's just put it in and then come back. And there it is, through that hole. Then we're just going to take it down here. We're going to, you can't see me putting my hand in there, but it's in there. And it's snapped in. I'm going to take and snip away that large excess amount. It's not needed. Drop this down, drop that down, and now it's ready to sew. Let's sew something and see if the tension and everything is correct since it's been completely taken apart. So when I cleaned it, I undo this and I take apart the tension discs. And I don't really ever change the pre-tensioner, but I do clean between the discs. So let's run something through it. Just going to go ahead. Oh, and it's purring like a kitten. It's purring like a kitten. That's what we want. And it looks like, ooh, those stitches are pretty good. Look at that. Come through again. Let's look at these. There's the stitches right there. There's the back side. This is at 2 millimeters, so let's change it to 3 so you can see how the stitches look at 3 millimeters. Okay, so there's a 3 millimeter stitch. Let's look at the back. Ooh, that's beautiful. That's the middle one. Let's change it to 4 millimeters. Pull it through. Again, looks beautiful. Let's look at the back. The tension is beautiful. It's nice. It's good. I didn't even have to do anything this time. So let's go back down to 2. Run it through so that you can see. And it's very quiet. Nothing bad is happening. The thread has now been cut, and all those stitches look amazing. Look at that. And they're only sucked in because this is a piece of flannel. So there's that. So the Juki TL-2010Q, back where it goes, freshly oiled, freshly cleaned, nice and nice and nice. That's the way we want it. So thank you for watching. Bye-bye.